Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Nixon, and this is Ready to Speak. What is Ready to Speak, you ask? It is my system to give you the simplest, easiest, and best way to deliver business presentations that work. That means in the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to talk all about helping you deliver presentations that will win you more clients and help you sell more stuff. Today is all about the one thing that ruins just about every presentation almost before they get started. I've seen lots of pros do this, and lots of business presenters do this one fundamental mistake that ruins and just right from the very beginning ruins just about every presentation, and it's TMI. Too much information. And we all do it. We all start doing it. We all have done this when we've created presentations. A lot of us still are doing it. The question is how to recognize it and get past it so we can have a powerful, effective presentation, so we can have a presentation that does the things we want to do to connect with our audience, to influence them, to sell stuff to them, whatever that is. TMI gets in the way of that all the time. So let's define this nasty little beast first of all and see what we can do about it. So it's TMI, too much information. I call it the curse of the expert. And the reason is because we're pretty much all experts in the area that we talk about when we're making business presentations, or even professionals when we're making big time presentations in front of big audiences. We all want to show them how expert we are, how incredibly knowledgeable we are. So what we do is we dump everything we know into our presentation. We take and we jam everything in. Too many slides, too many bullet points, too much information. We all do this. And we do it because we want to show how smart we are, or how good we are at what we do, or how good our product is. Or maybe we're not very confident that we've made our case, so we repeat, we add more. I'm not sure that does it, so I'm gonna put in more. I'm gonna add in the kitchen sink. I'm gonna add in the bathroom sink. I'm gonna do everything I can to give the audience all this stuff, and most of it's just gonna clog everything up. Another reason is we just want to share everything. One of the reasons I got into this business is because I want to help people get ahead and do the things that they need to do to create great presentations. And one of the things that you do is I share so much information with people. Sometimes it's just too much. You're giving them more than they really need to get the job done. And one of the big reasons that we do this is because we haven't necessarily done our homework. This may be you. This may be the reason why you haven't jumped in and trimmed down everything as tight as it could possibly be. We haven't learned enough about the people we're talking to, about our audiences, to truly address their needs, to understand what's keeping them up at night. What's the itch that we have a solution to, that we can scratch for them? What is the one thing that we can help them with that they can't do themselves? If we learn more about our audience, most of the time, we will come up with that idea, that simple, clarifying idea of how we can address their needs. So why is it so bad? Why is TMI so bad? What's wrong with just giving them everything you've got? And I've been to a lot of presentations where the speaker will start out and go, get ready, get your pads out, get your paper out. I'm going to give you a fire hose of information. And that may be nice to say, but in reality, that's really not the best thing you can do for your audience. So the reasons that it's so bad is that, number one, it overloads your audience. They're not experts. They're not, they don't want to be experts. They just want to solve their problem. So they don't need 100 reasons why A plus B equals C. They just want to know the one thing that they need to solve their problem. When you dump all that information on them, they don't know what's critical to understand and what isn't. You have it organized in your mind. You can go to any part of it and apply any part of it to any situation you're in, but they can't. They haven't been immersed in this. They need hand-holding. They need somebody who's going to show them what's important and what isn't. So basically, you're just confusing them. You're just turning their needs and their wants to solve their problem, to move on, and you're just confusing them. They don't want to be experts. They just want their problem solved. Your audience won't know what to do with all this. They won't understand what the call to action is, what their takeaways are, what their first steps are, what their second steps are. They won't understand any of that if you just constantly dump everything that you know on them. And sometimes your audience doesn't even know their real problem. They don't even understand how deep uh, their problem goes and how their basic concerns and anxieties about their problem can be the real solution to what they're doing. So there's an old story about some guy walks into a hardware store and asks for a 1/4-inch drill bit. And the clerk at the hardware store is very smart. He understands that really what this guy wants is not a 1/4-inch drill bit. He wants a 1/4-inch hole. And then he thinks a little deeper about it. He says, maybe he doesn't want a 1/4-inch hole. Maybe there's something else that's going to solve his needs. Maybe a type of glue or a different system. Maybe he doesn't need a drill bit at all. Maybe he's just going to put a bracket on the wall, and gluing something on the wall would work out better for him. So the more you explore where your audience is and what their the real problem is, a lot of times when you're talking to an organization, a company, they've called you in, or they're talking to you, or you're talking to them, there is a definable problem. And the more you can dig into it and understand what's causing it and what's fueling it, the better off you're going to be at helping them solve it. So in a second, I'm going to offer you some practical ways to solve this TMI problem and turn your pitch into a lean, mean presentation machine. So let me stop here for a quick second and remind you that Ready to Speak, and that's ready, the number 2, speak, is all about helping you build and deliver superstar business presentations. And the best way we can do this is to start doing this with a free presentation discovery call. We get on the phone together. I'll be talking directly with you for 30 to 60 minutes. There's no obligation. It's all about your presentation, your struggles, and how to make it all work. So just go to readytospeak.com. That's ready, the number 2, speak.com, and click on Discovery Call and book that call with me today. I promise it will be the best half hour you will spend on improving your communications. So now let's get back to solving our too much information problem. We talked about the curse of the expert, how we all default to this, how it bores and confuses our audience. It doesn't help them know that you are the one to solve their problem, and it makes us look unorganized and unfocused. So how do we fix this? Well, we all do it. And when we're starting out, it's good to have a lot of information, your features, your benefits, your lists, all that. But we have to intelligently edit it down so that your audience will get exactly what they need. So number 1, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand your audience. Number 2, ask yourself, what is their problem that I solve? And number 3, in the simplest way, tell them how you solve it. Now you can use limited amounts of supporting details for from your vast store of knowledge to help you support your solution, to offer things that enlighten or extend your major message. But everything in your presentation should be supporting that clear supposition, that clear statement of how you can solve their problem. So that means all the details, all the stories, the beginning, the ending, your call to action, your takeaways, everything has to support your clear solution to their problem. But you say, I have all this critical information that I must deliver. Well, if you've got let's say you've got 100 bullet points that tell them all about how incredible your widgets are. Obviously, you can't give them that in a presentation, or you're just going to totally overload them before you get to past the 5th or 6th point. Put it in a handout, a leave behind, something that they can look at later to reinforce how extensive and how well thought out your service or your product is. Or if there's a lot of additional information, you can say in your presentation, I wanted to give you the really critical ideas that are going to help you, that help our company solve your company's problem. But there's so much more. And I think a follow-up meeting would be very helpful. So it's a way of extending the conversation. It's a way of enriching the relationship and offering them additional material at a later date. But in your initial presentation, or in pretty much any presentation, You have to parse out, you have to distill out the big message that you want them to leave with. So let me leave you with this. To conquer TMI, the curse of the expert, number one, learn as much as you can about what your audience wants and needs. And then number two, give it to them in the clearest, most logical way. Number three, become a tough editor of your pitch, and you will win more clients, you will sell more stuff, you will be the superstar of your presentation. Remember, clarity wins. It always wins, and confusion loses. So thanks for listening. This is Tom Nixon with Ready to Speak, and we'll talk to you next time.